So, obviously, in addressing my concerns about the power and reach and influence of YouTube, obviously, in presenting this, it's made me a target, if you will, for YouTube, and it could quite easily close me down, close my channel down, and prevent me communicating with an audience. So YouTube, as I've said, is unassailable. It is a force unto itself, and there is no way to manage it or control it that I can see, because its reach and its dominance and its influence is so titanic. So this should be very worrying for us. Not even in the sense of anything malign or anything particularly dangerous about YouTube policies and the way it runs its business. So not necessarily at this stage anything deliberate, but just the mere fact of YouTube and the way it operates, the way it exists, is so powerful, so influential, that we should be very concerned about what this means in our society. We don't have control of it. YouTube controls itself. So a small number of people manage its influence in the world. I don't know how it works necessarily and who these people are, but I do know that the power that they have at their command is absolutely awesome, and we need to be concerned about the influence that YouTube has. So I'm not out to attack YouTube in any way. I'm simply drawing attention to the fact of its power and influence in society, and how we need to be aware of this. I don't know of any solutions to what I do see as a problem, but I do think we need to be aware at least of what we have created and how it can influence our lives. We do need to think, but YouTube is bigger than any national government. It's bigger than, for example, the European Union. It's simply titanic and incredibly influential, and I don't know how to control it, to be honest, but I do know we need to be thinking about it, because it is such a fundamental part of our life now, and has so much control of how we live, so much influence in the way we live, the way we think, what we know, how we communicate. And as I said, my personal experience for YouTube, where my channels have been removed and my content edited and removed, it means that I've learned the hard way just what exists in our society and the entity that we've created, and the influence it can have over our lives is enormous, absolutely stunning. And I don't at this moment know how we can deal with it, to be honest. But there needs to be a competitor, maybe, as a start. And the competitors that exist at the moment don't come close to the reach of YouTube. So competitors have been the way that the society has managed its business generally. That's why we have political parties, for example. In England, we have Labour and Conservative, and also Liberal Democrats. But we can see the kind of problem you get. You can have big players and minor players, and YouTube is the one and only big player, and everything else that competes with YouTube is a minor player. So we should be very concerned about what this means for us. And we need to think about ways that we can manage it. Because at the moment, we're not managing things. And YouTube is doing what it wants to do. And we need to be concerned about that.